Hi everyone. Today Salesforce development day 22. So today's agenda is we'll go through the previous session overview and we'll talk about creating a related records and one of the use case, and we'll have a homework and how to create a bulk records, what is subprogram and where we will be using the subprograms, and what is procedures, what is non-parameterized procedure. We will see the non-parameterized procedure and we'll see how to invoke the non-parameterized procedure and homework, and also we'll see the parameterized procedure and how to invoke the parameterized procedure and the use case, conclusion, and the interview question. Quickly, so what did we learn last class? What was the last discussion that we had?
Recording session, objects.
How to create a objects? Yes. What else we have?
Values.
Sorry.
Assigning the values, retrieving the values.
Okay.
Relationship and mapping.
Object relationship and mapping. Creating records inside the object.
So the last which we have seen is creating the single record. Creating the single record in object. Like for example, if I take an account record, how can I insert a record from Salesforce, single record, how to create it. So today we will see how to create a related records from the Salesforce. So before understanding that, so we need to understand few things. Creating a related records. Let's take an example of standard related records. Basically, Salesforce provided a ready-made objects as part of the Salesforce CRM. Whenever we purchase a Salesforce CRM, Salesforce is already providing the ready-made objects with the relationships, right? So when we open the Salesforce, like if I open the Salesforce, there are some objects which are by default, Salesforce is providing it whenever we purchase a Salesforce or whenever we create a credentials or whenever we take a Salesforce. That is used to store those objects that we are using for this sales, service, marketing, right? So there are different applications we have for everything we are using those objects. And these objects is associated with each other. That means there are some standard objects. There are some standard objects. By right now, everybody is aware about the relationship. Now here, Salesforce is providing few objects where the relationship is already implemented by the Salesforce. That means there are two standard objects. Among those two standard objects, there is an association. That means one object is associated with another standard object, right, which is already implemented by Salesforce. Example, account object. Account object is a parent. Account object is a parent. For this account object, if I go to the contact object, right, on the contact, I'll have a lookup. I'll have a lookup to the account. I can see a lookup. If I go to the contact record, I can see there is a field called account ID. There is a field called account ID on the contact object. So if I go here and if I open the contact, and whenever I'm creating a new contact or existing contact, I can see that there is a already lookup field is there. Already a lookup field is there, which is looking for the account ID or parent account. So basically at the back end, this is nothing but an account ID. Similarly, we have an opportunity object. We have a opportunity object. On the opportunity object, if I go and see the opportunity object, in the opportunity object, we have a field called account ID. So what is that means? This has a relationship with the account. Opportunity object has a relationship with the account. And the third one is a case object. Case object. And if I go to the case object, there I see the field called account ID. So similarly, case also has a relationship with the account. Now, how can I understand what is the relationship between these two, between the contact and account, between the account and opportunity, between the account and case? What is the relationship that it has implemented? What is the relationship it has implemented? So let's understand this first. So if I go to the schema builder, let's go to the setup. And we have a schema builder here. So just click on the schema builder. It will open up the schema builder window. Now let's clear these values. I'm looking for only the standard object. In the standard object, I'm looking for account. Let's take the first one, account and contact. So we have a contact. Now these two are there, right? These two objects are there. Now, account and contact is not individual objects. It's not a individual objects. There is a relationship. I can see here, this is the relationship which has been implemented, saying that this is a parent object and this is a child object. From the child object, we have created a field called account ID. So this account ID is looking up to the parent. So that means here the account is a parent and contact is a child. And if I hover on this relationship, it says that it's a lookup relationship. If I hover this, it says lookup relationship from contact to account. Now that means by default, Salesforce has already implemented this lookup relationship, already implemented the lookup relationship. So let's see the account and contact. It has a lookup relationship where the parent object is an account object, child object is a contact object, right? And the relationship field which we have is account ID on the child object, which is on the contact. Now, so basically this field contains the account record ID, the 18-digit ID or a 15-digit ID. At the backend table, it will store the ID. But when you look at the front end, it will just show you the account name instead of an ID, right? Now, when we have a lookup relationship, okay, so what will happen if I delete a parent record? If I have a lookup relationship, now by looking at the schema builder, account ID is optional. It's not a mandatory. It's an optional field. Now if I go to the contact, now here account is optional. It's not mandatory. So when I have this relationship, lookup relationship, what will happen if I delete a parent object?
The field on contact will get blank.
The related field on contact of account is blank.
As per the standard, if we are deleting the parent record, then if we are deleting the parent record, then it is just has to remove the values inside the contact, right? Now let's go ahead and see. So I have a S4. I'm taking a account S4. So this is the details. Let's go to the related list. In related list, I do not have any contact. So let me open a contact here. So in the contact, let me pick any existing contact. Let's say FGH FTS. Okay, this is my contact. So this contact does not have any account related to it. So what I'll do is I'll just update the I'll just update the account name by choosing S4. Okay, so here I'm going to choose the S4. Now click on save, just refresh this. Now we can see that one contact will be linked, which we can see on the related list of account. Right, so there is a one contact is there. Now what I'll do is I'll delete this account. I'll delete this account. So as per the standard, if the lookup field is optional, right? So we have seen that there is a two options are there. One is clearing the value, and the second radio button is delete, do not allow to delete if there is a linked one is there, right? Now I'm going to delete this parent record. Yes, are you sure you wanted to delete the S4? Yes, delete it. Now it has deleted the account. When it is deleted the account, now let me show you recycle bin. So in the recycle bin, I can see that just account record is there. Just account record, I can see here, right? So contact. Now let me refresh. It was S4. Now let me refresh FGH FDS. Now what is it saying? When we delete an account record, the contact record also deleted. When we delete an account record, contact record also deleted. So Salesforce has implemented a lookup relationship, but Salesforce provided additional behavior between the account and contact. What is the additional behavior? Though it is a lookup relationship, but if you delete a parent record, all your contacts is going to be removed automatically from the object. So that is the additional behavior which is provided by the Salesforce. So that's the reason in the interview, they will ask you that, what is the relationship between the account and contact? If I say lookup relationship, then they will say that, okay, if I delete an account object, account record, will my contact record will be deleted or not? They will say that it is deleted. Now, how can you say it is a lookup relationship? This is a confusing question in the interview, but account and contact, as per the schema builder, it's a lookup relationship. But on top of the lookup relationship, whatever the rules are there, on top of it, Salesforce has provided the additional behavior between the account and contact. That is, when you delete a parent record, when you remove a parent record, automatically the child record, the contact record is going to be removed automatically from the object. So that's the additional feature which is provided by the Salesforce. So this additional feature has been given by Salesforce based on the CRM user request. So once upon a long time back, there is some request came from the CRM users. Now the next one is account and opportunity. So let's see account and opportunity. Now I'll remove this contact. Let me search the opportunity. Now, account and opportunity. I can see that if I hover this, I can see that there is a lookup relationship from the opportunity to account. Lookup relationship from the opportunity to account. So that means here parent object is a account and child object is a opportunity. Child object is opportunity. Now relationship is on the opportunity, I have a account ID. Now this, whatever this is there, this is basically the record ID is get stored into the table. But on the front end, I can see that the opportunities are, whenever we go to the opportunity, it shows name of the account. Let me see all the opportunities. Okay, only I have 5. Now let me take this Infosys Rohit. Now this is linked to the account name called Infosys. Now let me go to the Infosys. Okay, I'll take test 1, 2, test 1, 2. Okay, so test 1, 2 does not have any contact, does not have any opportunity, it is not there. So what I'll do is, first I'll do the reparenting. So basically I'll change this Infosys to test 1, 2, test 1, 2. Now I'll click on save. So right now this account is connected to the opportunity. So if I go to the related list of the account, on the opportunity, I can see the count is 1. That means there is a 1 opportunity is linked to the parent account. Now, as per the schema builder, it's a lookup relationship. As per the schema builder, it's a lookup relationship. Now, if I delete this, let's see what will happen. If I delete this record, whether my opportunity is deleted or not. That means when I'm removing the parent record, what will happen to my child opportunity record? What will happen to my child opportunity record? So let's click on a delete. Let's click on delete the account. Now my account is deleted. Account test 1, 2, 1, 2 was deleted. Perfect. Now let me refresh the opportunity. It's an Infosys Rohit. Now, opportunity is also deleted. Opportunity is also deleted. That means between the account and opportunity, I have a lookup relationship. Between these two, I have a lookup relationship. But Salesforce has given an additional feature on top of the lookup relationship. When you delete an account record, your opportunity record is also deleted. Your opportunity record is also deleted. And another feature is given by the Salesforce apart from this. Now, apart from this, it also given that when we go to the fields and relationship, now the question here, when we have a lookup account is implemented, can we create a roll-up summary on the lookup?
No, ma'am.
No, we cannot create a roll-up summary. But when we go to the opportunity, when I click on a fields and relationship, if I click on a new button, that means I'm going to create a new field. Okay, let's go to the object manager, search for opportunity. Search for opportunity. Let's go to the opportunity. Now, when we're creating a new field, now here you see the roll-up summary. You can create a roll-up summary on the opportunity. Though it is a lookup relationship between the account and opportunity, but you can create a roll-up summary field. You can create a roll-up summary field on the opportunity. So on the opportunity between these two relationships, Salesforce has provided two additional features. One is if you are deleting the account record, all your opportunity records will be removed automatically by default, right? And the second one is we can create a roll-up summary field between the account and opportunity object. These two are additional features between the account and opportunity. Now the third one, let's see the account and case. If I go to the schema builder, let's take out this and search for a case. Now between these two, account and contact, between these two, we have lookup relationship. This is lookup relationship from case to account. So that means account is a parent object and case is a child object, right? So here also, now this is little bit different. Now let me go to the case. Where are we? Cases. Now let's go to the case, and in the meantime, let me find out some. So let's take the industry 3. So in the industry 3 related list, I do not have anything here. Now what I'll do is the case. Okay, this is the case which is there. Now, which is already linked to the account Salesforce. So what I'll do is I'll change this Salesforce to industry 3. Now click on it, save. Now let's refresh. Now, account and case, these two standard objects are lookup relationship. It has a lookup relationship. But assume that there is a case is already linked to the account. And if I'm trying to delete, are you sure you wanted to delete this account? Yes. What will happen? It will not allow you to delete the account. It will not allow you to delete the account because there is a case is there. And here the account name is not mandatory. The lookup field is not mandatory, right? Lookup field is not mandatory, but still it will not allow you to delete the account if there is a case is linked. So additional feature, though it is a lookup relationship, Salesforce has given an additional feature is if you are removing the account record and if there is a case is associated with the account, you cannot remove the parent record from the object. You cannot remove the parent record from the object. Now, those are the standard relationship, right? So most of the questions you will get it from the standard objects, like what relationship these two have, and what are the child objects that account has, what are the child objects of the opportunity, and what is the relationship. Everything they will ask to just to confuse you, because it says a lookup. As per the lookup relationship, the rules are, we know what are the rules, but on top of it, Salesforce has given an additional behavior for each relationship, like account and contact, right? Contact is automatically deleted. Account and opportunity, if I delete an account, opportunity is automatically deleted, and opportunity has a roll-up summary field which is additional. Ideally, roll-up summary we can see only on the master detail relationship, but here we have a lookup relationship, but still I can see the roll-up summary field. Same account and case, it's a lookup relationship, but when you are deleting the account, it won't allow you to delete because there is a case is exist for that. Now coming to the our scenario, the Apex program, by using this relationship, whatever the relationship that we have. Yeah.
I had a doubt. I think for the sharing, as far as sharing is concerned, OWD, the contact is controlled by account, right? I mean, even though it's a lookup relationship, it's controlled by Karen, isn't
Yes,
it?
that is the additional feature which is provided in Salesforce.
Yeah, and what about account and contact? What's the difference between account and contact and only contact in OWD?
Sorry.
If you go in the OWD, that is sharing settings, we have objects, right? So there is one object called account and contact, and there is something called contact. So what's the difference between
Okay,
those?
that is the additional object. Okay, it's kind of a junction object.
Junction.
You have a account object as well as the contact object, but in between there will be a junction object, which is the account contact, kind of a opportunity role, opportunity product role, opportunity line item. So you will see few objects which are the junction objects.
Okay, so this object, account and contact object, we can't see in the object manager.
It's an additional feature which is we have to enable it. We cannot see by default by the Salesforce. So if we enable, then we can see only three fields or 4 fields will be there. So not more than that. So for that, we need to enable some configuration which we have to do it. Then only we can see that records. So basically these account contact records, you will see as a related list here. Like you are seeing has a contact. So there will be another related list. If you enable that configuration, you will see that account contact.
That is to attach contact to multiple accounts, right? Multiple accounts.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, coming back to the whoever does not know that, no problem. I'll cover that in the admin session. Okay. Now back to the hours Apex programming. Now we know, at least we know the lookup relationship. Now I know account and contact lookup relationship, right? So let's say that by using the Apex program, I wanted to create a parent record as well as associated child records. That means I wanted to create a parent record by using the Apex. Also, I need to create a associated child records. So if we want that scenario, like I have an account object. Let's say that I have an account object. This is my account object. And I need to create a 2 contacts, or I need to create another contact, which is a lookup relationship. So first you need to implement the account record first, then pass this ID to contact and then create a contact. And then create a contact record. So how we have to do it? Let's see that. So I know account object is a parent by now and the contact is a child, right? Now, let's see this. First, what we have to do, we have to create a parent record inside the object. Parent record is nothing but, right now, let's assume account. I need to create a account record first. And once I create an account record, in order to create an account record, first we need to create an object here or initialize it. So here the object is ACC. So account ACC equal to new account. That means I'm creating an object here. By using the object, I'm assigning the values to the field. Then finally, I'll do the insert. What are the ACC is the object name. Then it is going to insert the account record. Now, step 2 is create the related child record for the account. Now I have an account here. Account ID is there. The ID is got generated whenever the cursor executes this insert, the ID is get generated. That means I need to check a condition if acc.id not equal to null, right? If acc.id not equal to null, then I wanted to create a child record. Then I wanted to create associate because I need to associate the child record to the parent record. right? So first I need to check the account ID. Then within that, I need to print the, I need to initialize this or create an object con. And then finally, whatever the values are there for this contact, I need to assign the values to the fields. Now, how can I assign the account ID? Basically, we have a field called account ID. On the contact, API name of the account name is account ID. API, field API name is account ID. So con.account ID equal to acc.id. So by assigning this acc.id to the account ID, that means I am linking the child record to the parent. And once it is inserted, I can see if I go to the account record and if I go to the related list, I can see the contact, the associated child record, I can see there. Now let's take a use case. Write an Apex program to insert the account record along with the associated contact record inside the object. Now let me go to the developer console. Open anonymous window. Now let's clear this. Now, couple of steps which I need to do here. The first thing is that I need to create an account. So step one, create an account. And step two, insert the record, insert the account record. And step three, condition. Check the account ID, whether it is created or not. Step four, so create insert is same. So that is step one and step two. And the step three, create a contact record. Now, in order to create an account record, what is the lines that I need to write here?
Account object name is equal to new account.
Account object name
Account
equal to
new account.
new account. Now I can use my object
ACC
here.
dot
Name.
name equals to
Let's say parent account record. ACC dot
Ratings.
rating hot
and ACC dot industry.
phone.
What are the industries that we have?
Agriculture,
Agriculture,
Banking.
banking,
banking,
Let's take banking. We have an annual revenue. Let's give some number. Now ACC type. Type, we have a prospect. So let's save this. Prospect. And we have a phone, acc.phone. And how to give the billing address? Which field do I need to use it for the billing address?
address,
Which field do I need to use it for the, what is the API field name for the address?
text area,
data type text, Okay.
No, we have to give everything, billing, state, city.
Billing address.
Can I give this billing address?
No, it has to mention individually. Like building city, billing pin code, billing state. Like
We
that.
have to use the billing city, separate fields are there. So whenever you are inserting the address, so make sure you use the right field. Do not use the billing address. Like ACC dot billing state. ACC dot billing country. Right. So now let's insert ACC. Now the first step is done. Now second step is I need to check the condition. If ACC.ID not equal to null. If it is not equal to null, then what we have to do?
Print system.
You have to pay
Declare contact record
debug. I configure this create.
to create a contact record.
I need to create a contact record. So contact
CON equal to new contact.
fine.
Dot.
Sorry.
No.
CON dot the object name dot we have a first name. You have a in contact. You cannot see the first name or last name. Can you see the first name, last name here when you are creating a new record?
Oh, API recording
I think
API names.
quotation, first name, last name is there.
Okay, so but once it is saved, the record, what you will see only name you can see. You cannot see the first name or last name. Only name will be there. But we have to always use the for the contact. We have to use the first name. Let's say sample. Con dot last name. Contact record. Now we have other fields like a contact dot phone number. And we have something called
Salutation. That is a mandatory field, I think.
which field?
Salutation.
No, that's not a mandatory.
Mhm.
Last name only mandatory.
Yeah, only last name is mandatory. Now we have a mailing address here, right? Mailing address is there. For the mailing address, you will see, right? In case if you wanted to insert the mailing address, then you have to use the mailing city. And mailing state. Right, so that's enough. In case if you want a street, you can add the street. There is a street also available. So let's say I want to some apartment. Perfect. Now I'm going to insert the record. Insert con. Right, 3 steps. First, I'm inserting the parent. Then I'm cross-checking whether it is available or not. Then I'm inserting the contact. Any questions so far, anybody? Okay, so now let's execute. Now the record has been created. Let's go to the account. We have created the parent account. If I open the parent account, details, let's go to the related list. Why it is not created the contact here? The contact is
Because
already
account ID match.
right. We have not given the association. I'm just checking here acc.id not equal to null. And I just created the contact, but I did not associate this account ID to the contact. I did not associate this to the contact. So let me change this to 1 and change this to 1. Now, in order to associate, what we have to do, contact dot, we have a account ID. There is a field called account ID equal to, we need to give acc.id. That means I am linking the contact to account. I am linking the contact to account. Now let me execute this. Duplicate detected, use the one of the record. Okay, so just a second. So duplicate rules. So in case if you are getting that error, just deactivate the duplicate rule for now. Now let me go ahead and run that. Execute. So let's refresh this. Debug. Debug open anonymous, control A, control V. And sample 1 contact records. Let me change this number. Hyderabad. Right, parent record 2. Now click on execute. Still it is saying that line number 13th. What is the line number 13th? It is the account. So account is the issue here. So let's go to the duplicate rule. Let me open up this account. Let's deactivate it. Let's click on execute. Now the record has been inserted. Now if I go to the accounts, we have a parent new record 1. Now go to the related list and you can see the contact is linked. The contact is linked. Right? So if you give this contact dot account ID, if you give the contact dot account ID equal to whatever the account ID if you are passing, this is the main. This line is main. So what we are doing here, we are making the contact to be associated with account. Contact is associated with account. If you do not mention this line, you cannot see the linking. That means you can, though the account contact is created, but it will create it as a separate records. There is a no connection between these two. There is a no connection between these two. Now, let's see the next use case. So right now we have seen for the standard object. Similarly, we have a custom object. In the custom object also, let's take a example of hiring manager and position record. Hiring manager, whenever you are inserting the hiring manager, that means the parent record, you wanted to create a child record, and child record has to be associated with parent record. Child record has to be associated with child record. So let's open the object manager, hiring manager. Let's see what are the fields are there. No. We have so many fields, but which all are mandatory? Let's use only the mandatory one. Go to the hiring manager, click on a new button. Now we have a hiring manager mandatory, employee address is mandatory, contact number is mandatory. Right, so I'm going to use these three. So what I'll do is the first step is creating the hiring manager. Okay. Create a hiring manager record. Check the hiring manager ID. And then create a position record.
Position.
Right. So now if I take the object, so the API name of the object is hiring underscore manager underscore C. Now HR equal to new hiring manager. I'm creating the object. Now I'll use the object HR dot. Let's take a name equal to, let's say new HR. Now HR dot. Let's take the email address. So HR dot email address equal to new HR@gmail.com. HR dot, what is the other field?
Contact number.
Contact number. So let's use the contact number equal to, let's give some number. Now that's all. Let's insert the HR. Now this is done. Now let me use this. Let's check if HR dot ID not equal to null. If HR dot ID not equal to null, then what we have to do? We have to create a position. Now let's open the position object. Position. Now in the position object, what are the fields are mandatory? Okay, so most of them are mandatory here. Fine. Let me go ahead and use it. Now the position object API name is position underscore C. POS equal to new position. Then we'll use the POS dot. We'll have a location underscore C. Now here, either I can give directly. What I can do is, we have a locations, right? Different locations we have. Either I can give the pick list name. Either I can give the pick list name. That is, whatever the, like I can give the Hyderabad or Noida or whatever is there, I can give it, right? But what I'll do is, let me do one thing. In hiring manager also, we have a location. In hiring manager also, we have a location. So HR dot location equal to Hyderabad. No. Here, what I'll do is instead of giving like this hard-coded value, I'll take this HR location and I'll give the HR location here. Why I'm giving like this? Because we have a filter condition. The filter condition is when I'm creating the position record, in the position record, my location is matching with the HR, then only display or, right? Then only display the hiring manager details. So in that case, what I'm doing is, but these both should have a location same. Now here I am anyway defining it. Now directly I can give that HR location into the position location. POS dot, let's go to the fields and relationship. We have a number of position. Number of vacancies, let's give 2. And we have a POS dot, what are the position status? What are the status here? Status is not mandatory. Let's leave that. Location is done. Name is done. Number of vacancies is done. Milestone date. We have a milestone date. So let's take the milestone date. POS dot milestone date. So let's give system dot date. Or let's take system dot today. Assume that this is there for the next 30 days. Add days 30. Also, let's take the open date. Open date is today. And milestone is 30 days. POS dot open date equal to system dot today. It is starting today and it will continue for next 30 days. And what else we have? Maximum budget HR email. Maximum budget POS dot maximum budget equal to some number here. And then HR email, POS dot HR email ID. HR email ID. Let's say HR email ID should be same as this person. So what I'll do is I'll copy the HR one and I'll paste it here. This is my HR email ID. And what else we have? Travel required, skills required. That's it. Right. I'll add the skills required. We have a skills required. So POS dot skills required. Let's say that required 4+ years of lightning experience. Now everything is done. Linking is pending. I have not linked yet. So I have given the location, number of vacancies, open date, milestone, maximum budget, HR email, skills. But I have not mentioned the linking part. So now I need to link POS dot. What is the hiring manager lookup relationship? So hiring manager equal to HR dot ID. Now let's go ahead and insert. Insert POS. Inserting the hiring manager checking the condition here, then inserting the related list. Then inserting the related list. Now execute this. Now let's go to the hiring manager. New HR which we have created. Now let's go to the related list. Now I can see that position is linked here. So position, this is the position name, right? Position name, it has by default, it is taken as ID. By default, it is taken as ID. Why it is taken as ID? Because I have not mentioned the position name. Position name is a mandatory. In case if we are not assigning the value to the position name, what will happen? It will automatically take the 18-digit ID here. It will automatically take the 18-digit ID here. So it will store it as a 15-digit. And the new Hyderabad, right? So this is today it is starting. And this is the maximum budget. This is the HR email ID and it's created just now.
Swapna, one question here.
Mhm.
Actually, here the position name is a standard field, right? For customer object, that was the standard field. So
Right.
the ID is default assignment only for the standard fields, or if we miss any mandatory field, it will fill with the ID.
Only for the standard field. So whenever we are creating the object, only for the standard one, in case if I do not give, so position name is a mandatory here, right? But I have not mentioned the position name. In case if you do not mention the position name for the standard field, so what will happen? It will automatically take the ID, the 18-digit ID and store it here as a 15-digit ID.
Okay, Swapna.
Not for the other custom fields. Okay, any other questions? On the creating the related list, related records. Any questions on the creating a related list? Okay, so let's go for the homework. Write an Apex program to create an account record and related opportunity record inside the object. So you need to create a parent record account and child record opportunity, and this opportunity has to be associated with account record. Right, so there is a field called account ID on the opportunity. Now, next one, write an Apex program to create an account record and related high priority cases. High priority cases. That means you need to create an account record first, and then you need to create a case record with the where the stage is or status is high priority. So there is a priority field is there which says high or medium or a low. So you have to you have to use the high priority one. And then on the case record, we have an account ID. So just use the account ID and assign this case record to the account. Third homework, write an Apex program to insert a hiring manager record and related position record and related candidate record for the position. That means you have a hiring manager record. This is the parent. So first you need to insert the parent record. Once you are done with inserting, check whether the hiring manager ID is exist or not. If it is exist, that means the ID is created, then create the position record. After creating the position, while creating the position record, associate there is a hiring manager lookup ID will be there. So associate this position record to the hiring manager. Associate this position record to the hiring manager. Then you need to, the second condition is you need to check whether the position record is created perfectly or not. If it is created, then you have to create a candidate record. And while creating the candidate record, you need to assign or associate it to the position record. Because in the last class, I told you to create a candidate object. Right, in that candidate object, create a lookup relationship between these two, position and candidate. So candidate is looking to the position, position is looking to the hiring manager. Any questions on the homework? Next one is write a Apex program to insert an account record, related contact and opportunity and case record inside the object. So that means you have to first create the account object, then create the contact record. And once while creating the contact record, link or associated with the account record, the one which you are creating. And also create a opportunity record. And this opportunity record also associated with the account record, right? And then create a case. Case also, while creating the case record, it has to be associated with account record. So that means everybody is looking up to the account record. Everybody is looking at the account record. So you will have a only one if condition here. If acc.id not equal to null, then create a contact, then create a opportunity, and then create a case. While creating the contact, associate the account record. While creating the opportunity, associate the account record. While creating the case, associate the account ID to the case. Okay, so before moving on, any questions?
Ma'am, that second one, second
one?
Yeah. Related case. Priority equal to high, that's enough.
Yeah, it's a
Related.
high spelling. Yeah, it's a high priority. So in the case, you have a high priority. So let me open the case. So here, case is priority is high, medium, low. So you need to create a case with a high priority. Priority is the field name.
Yeah.
Now let's move on. Any other questions? Now, so far, what we have done is creating the single record. Whether I'm creating just a parent account or if I'm creating a child record, we are just doing the single record inserting. If the requirement says that, let's suppose for the integration or let's say the third party. Now we have some third party here, right? This is a third party or there is some integration which is happening. And this is Salesforce. Now, whenever Salesforce is a third party is sending the records to Salesforce so that in the Salesforce, within the object, it is creating the records, right? Now, if the third party is sending 200 records, 300 records, or 500 records, or more than 500 records, each record inserting is going to take a lot of time. Each insert is going to take a lot of time. In real time, whenever we are writing a code, we always write the code in the bulkification. That means whether the single record is inserted or a 10 records are inserted or a 20 or 1,000, 10,000 doesn't matter. Developer always, whenever they are inserting the record using the Apex, right? Always consider this point, bulk records. That means bulkify. How can we make it bulkify? That is one of the best practice. Though it is created a one record, but we should handle, the developer should handle bulkification while implementing the logic. Now let's see how to create a bulk records. So by using the Apex record, we can insert bulk records inside the object with the help of iterative statement. We have seen the iterative statement, right? So the iterative statements are like a for loop we have, right? For loop, let's take a variable counter equal to 0 and counter less than 20 or less than 10. That means up to 10 records I wanted to include. Then we have a counter plus plus. This is iterative statement. So what will happen within this curly braces, whatever the logic is there, all the logic will be keep on executing till it hit this condition. Whatever the logic is there here, it will hit. It will execute this logic continuously till it finds this condition is false. Right? If like a counter initially 1, so that means it is qualified. The second time 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like till it meets the condition, it will keep on execute. But as soon as it sees that the condition is false, then it will come out of this loop. Out of this loop. So this we have already seen that iterative statement. By using the iterative statement, one way is by using the iterative statement, we can achieve this. So we can write the code, insert the record inside the object, and we will execute the same code iteratively till the required number of times. Now let's say that you wanted to insert 10 records or you wanted to insert 20 records. So what you will do, counter less than or equal to 20. That means 20 records I wanted to insert. 20 record I wanted to insert. Like example, for integer counter equal to 1, counter less than or equal to 10, counter plus plus. Within this, we will write account ACC. We will initialize this. Now using this object name, I will pass the values to the field, and then whatever the action has to be done, we will do that action. Right? Now let's see the use case. Now write an Apex program to insert the 10 lead records inside the object. The use case is to insert the 10 records, 10 account records, 10 lead records. So here it says 10 lead records. Now let me go to the developer console. Now, so first I need to implement an iterative statement, because I iterative statement for 10 times, because 10 times I need to create a lead record. Now the second step is create a lead record. Create a lead record. Now first step is for loop integer counter equal to 1. So I'll say counter less than or equal to 10, counter plus plus. Now I need to create the lead record. I need to create the lead record. So let's say lead LD equal to new lead. I'm initializing it or creating the object here. So by using the object, I can capture the lead first name. Now here, when I'm creating the multiple records, if I'm writing this logic within the iteration, like every first name should not be the same. Every first name should not be the same. So what I'll do is I'll concatenate the counter here. So that first record will be created lead record -1. The second one will create lead record -2. So at least my name changes there. My name changes. So we have a first name, last name. So for last name also, LD -. So I'll take the counter. And then we have an email ID. For email also, what I'll do, I'll just mention here bulk records or bulk records. And every record email ID should not be same. So what I'm doing is I'm just adding the counter here, then @gmail.com. So what will happen? Every record, my email address is different. For the first one, bulk record 1 @gmail.com. And the next one is bulk records 2 @gmail.com. And we have an industry field. Let's take a finance. Right, so I think that's all we have. What are the mandatory fields? Yeah. This is a position, lead. Click on your record. Anybody has any question? So last name is mandatory, company is mandatory. So I need to give the company, lead status automatically captured. Right, so I need to give the company. LD dot company equal to, let's say that Infosys INC. Now, I'm assigning the value, right? I'm assigning the value here. Now, for now, what I'm doing is I'm just inserting here. For now, I'm just inserting here. That means this DML statement, whatever the insert I'm doing it, this insert I'm writing within the iterative statement. Within the iterative statement, I'm writing the insert. I'm writing the insert within the iterative statement. That means DML command. Now let me show you this. If I execute this, what will happen? Let's click on execute. Now, let's scroll down. Okay. Now, if you see this number of DML statements, limit, Garner limit, one of the limit is DML statement limit is 150. DML statement is how many records you can insert? Maximum you can insert only 150. Now let's suppose I have a scenario that I need to insert a 200 records because I keep on getting the records from the third party. I keep on getting the records from third party. So in that case, what will happen if I try to execute this?
You will hit the governor.
Will get the error. So what is the error? It will say that you are crossing the limits. Okay. So it is saying that too many DML statements 151. It executed till 150. When it reached to 151, it says that too many DML statements. So one of the error is too many DML statement. Why we will get too many DML statement? Because if I am crossing the DML statement Garner limits, why I am crossing the Garner limits here? Because I have a records that I'm inserting more than 150 and I'm writing the insert command within the for loop. We should never write the DML statement within the for loop. We should not write the insert within the while, wherever the iterative, whether the for loop, while, or whatever you are using the different iterative statement, right? Every iterative statement, you should not be writing the DML command within the iterative statement. It has to be outside. It has to be outside. But in order to place it in the outside, fine, I need not to write this DML statement within this workbook. That is perfectly fine. But how can I insert these records? I'm getting the records, but how can I insert this? How can I insert these records? You can insert it. Basically, right now what we are doing is, this is my iterative statement, right? In the iterative statement, and these all are my DML commands. These all are my DML. Like these DML commands are up to 150 only it will accept, right? You need to execute this DML these many times. You need to execute this these many times. So the top one is a iterative. In the iterative one, you are using the DML. You are using the DML. So how many times you are executing? See, every time what is happening, it is taking the data, going to the database.com and inserting the data and coming back here. Again, it is checking. Again, it will go back to the database.com. Okay, and it will insert the data and it will come back. Again, it is checking. Again, it will go back to the database.com. It will insert. Like this, Salesforce keep on execute this transaction. Another issue is your performance. Every time you are hitting the database here, every time you are hitting the, here you have a database, assume that here you have a database. So every time you are hitting the database, right? So which is your performance is also almost going down. And the second one is you are crossing the Salesforce Garner limits. The Garner limit is maximum I can insert 200 records. I can insert 200 DML statement. I can execute 200 DML statement. So when we have that limitation, we should not use the DML within the iterative. I should not be using the DML within this. So what should I need to do? I need to create a separate collection. I need to build a group. I need to build a group, or I need to implement a collection here. So I need to build additional box. Okay. I need to implement a collection or a separate group. And in this collection, instead of doing the DML here, right? Every iterative, assign the values, okay? Assign the values. No, instead of doing the DML here, now, if you want to execute the 200 times or more than 200 times, that is perfectly fine. But what I need is, do not do the DML, okay? Assign the values. Assign the values. You keep on assigning the values. So first time it will execute. So first time this box gets executed, assign the value. Second time this box is executed, assigning the value. Once this is assignment is done, store that value into this box. Store that value into this box. What is this box called? It's a collection. Collection. That means you are grouping everything together. If you are doing 100 200 times assignment, every time you are assigning it and pushing the data into the collection. Assigning this and pushing that into the collection. Now, finally, what you will do a DML operation on collection or on group. At a time you will do, only one time you will execute the DML statement because all the data is stored in the collection. All the data is stored in the collection. Now I can simply execute this collection just by running the DML. Now we have discussed what are the different collections we have.
List to set map.
List to set the map.
List to set to map. Now in this case, I'm using the list. Now inside this, the database, we have to give here either data type or you have to give a S object, right? So in this case, I'm giving the, because we are inserting the lead here. So list of lead, I'll say that lead list equal to new list of lead. So basically I'm creating the object for the list. For the lead list, I'm creating an object.
Swapna?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many records we can insert per batch, you know, like now suppose I have 1 million records.
Per transaction, it is a 150 limit.
No, these are the number of DML statements, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many insert statements we can have? Now suppose I have 1 million records, okay, and I'm bulkifying them. I'm putting them all in the list, okay, and I'm saying insert all 1 million records. Is it allowed in one batch? How many records I can insert?
Is your batch is executing one time or a multiple times?
No, that's what I mean. Is it allowed to execute it one time, all 1 million records, or do I have to do it in batches?
So if batch is executing means that is a one transaction. If it is a one transaction, the DML statement is 150. If your batch is executing in the more than one transaction, like right now it is running one transaction. After 10 minutes, another transaction it is running. Every time whenever the transaction is get executed, for each transaction, the number of DML statements is 150. So right now, whatever we have done, this is a one transaction, one execution. So for one transaction, this is the limit.
Okay.
In real time also 150.
Yes. 150 is more because we never do like this insert. We never use the single record insert in the real time. We always use the collection.
And these governor limits, they are same across all the orgs, all the editions, right?
Right. So if you go ahead and look at the governor limit, so if you go to the Salesforce governor limits on DML, Apex governor limits, let's go there. Now let me open this. Per transaction Apex limit. It does not apply on a multiple transaction one limit. It's always each transaction it will have. So whether it is a unlimited addition or whether it is a developer addition, so you have a socle is a different, and these only socle they are talking about the unlimited. But whatever you are seeing here, the synchronous limit, asynchronous limit, for the DML statement, both are 150, whether it is you are doing a synchronous or asynchronous. Synchronous means executing one by one. Asynchronous means you are executing parallelly. This is a lot more for the real time. We do not need 150 at all. So now what I'll do is I have created a collection here, which is a lead list. Now inside, what I'll do is I'll place the each assignment, whatever we are doing here, the assigning the value. How can we place that into the list? How can I add it to the list? Now I have this LD.
LD list dot
LD
add.
dot add. LD dot
Add.
Add, then you have to pass the LD. So now if I'm doing the 200 records, now if I click on execute, I did not do the insert. Okay, there is nothing has been executed. Number of DML statement, nothing is there. So basically you will not see these records. Now I see that I have added to the list. I have added all the records to the list. Now I need to check whether this list is containing something or not. That means this list has some value. If it has a value, then only go ahead and insert. Otherwise, why to insert unnecessarily? So that means for that, what I need to do is I need to check. Either you can check LD list dot size is greater than 0. You can check this. If size is greater than 0, then only go ahead and insert. Or else what you can do is LD list dot is empty. We have another thing which is called is empty. And you need to put a not condition starting. So that means lead list is this, what are the question, the exclamation is there, that is nothing but a not. If lead list not empty, if lead list not empty, then what you do is go ahead and insert LD list. LD list. Now I'll say that execute. Now it has executed so many records, it has been executed. And the DML statement. If I go down. One DML statement out of 150. But how many records I have executed? The rows are 200 rows, it has been executed. Number of DML rows are 200, where the limit is 10,000 records. For normal DML rows, how many rows can be created? So the rows up to 10,000, if it is a synchronous. If it is a synchronous, not this one. So for the synchronous Apex test execution, if it is you are doing it the test class, so the limit is 45,000. Apex class can have a 45 method that insert the 10,000 rows each. If the limit is reached, you see this error. Run all test is consuming too many DB resources. If you are crossing this, so what will happen? You will see that consuming too many DB resources. Any questions? Any questions? So what happened right now? It is executed the 200 rows out of 10,000. And then it executed the DML statement is 1 out of 150. Now, if I go to the lead object, I can see all those records. Right, so these are the records which are created. These are the records which are created. Now, any questions before I move on? Okay, so next we will move on the sub-programs. What is this sub-programs? Where we will write this sub-program? Where we will write this sub-program? And why we need that sub-program? So let's say that right now we know that we are creating a Apex class. We are creating a Apex class. Assume that this is my Apex class. We are just clicking on file, new, and creating a new Apex class. When we are writing a new Apex class, right, inside the Apex class, we need to divide this class into part by part. We need to divide this class into part by part. Sub-program is nothing but part of the program. I need to divide the main logic, whatever the logic is there, that business logic has to be part by part. Right now, so far what we have done, we went to the developer anonymous window and we created the account record, we created the contact, we created the multiple records. But when we are executing it from the anonymous window like this code is not saved anywhere. This code is not saved anywhere. So what I'll do is I'll take that logic I'll put it into the one part of the program. So in this part of the program, so this part is only for creating the account record. This part is only to create a contact record. This part is to create an opportunity record. Like this, within the Apex class, I'll divide my business logic part by part. So sub-program is nothing but part of the program. So sub-program is divided into two types. So we can implement the sub-programs in two types. One is procedures and the second one is functions. One is procedures and the second one is functions. So procedures is nothing but it contains the set of statement, because we need to write some statements here. I need to write some line of code here in order to insert some lines here, right? So I need to write some set of lines here. So it contains the set of statements that used to be performed certain operation, like inserting an account, inserting a contact, or inserting an opportunity. I'm performing some operation on that, right? So the DML operation is performed, but it will not return any value to the calling environment. That means when we are implementing the sub-program with the help of procedure, when I'm implementing the procedure, what it does, so procedure is nothing but it contains a set of statements that is used to perform certain operation, but it will not return any value to the calling program. When I say calling program is nothing but the calling program could be a visual force, calling program could be a Aura, calling program could be a LWC, calling program could be a user interface, right? It doesn't return any value. It does all the logic. It will perform everything, but it cannot return the value, the final output, whatever is there. The procedure cannot return back to the calling environment. It cannot return back to the calling environment. Where is a function? Functions are definitely, it contains the statement to be used to perform certain operations, and it will return the value. Functions will return the value. So to whom? whether it is a visual force or Aura, whoever is the calling environment is there. So it could be a Aura, LWC, or user interface, anybody. If you implement a sub program using the functions, so what will happen? It will return the value to the calling environment. So that is the differences between the procedure and function. Now, developer has to decide which one they should go. They should go for a procedure or they should go for a function. Now, how they will decide, the developer? They just look at, do I need to return, if I'm writing a sub program, if I'm implementing a sub program within the Apex class, do I need to return a value to anybody? Could be a Apex also, could be a possible that another Apex is expecting some value from this. So it could be a Apex also possible. So do I need to return this? If not, then better I'll go for the procedure. If I need to return some value, if I need to, for example, there is another Apex class, I need to return some value to the final output to the another Apex class. So in that case, I'll go with the functions. So that is the differences between these two. So we have a sub programs, two types, procedure, functions. Now let's see the and. All the procedures and function should be defined inside the class, inside the Apex class. We can define one or more procedures and functions inside. That means you can implement as many as procedures, as many as functions within the Apex class. Now let's see the procedure. So procedures are, again, it is divided into two types. Procedures are divided into two types. First, let's see the non-parameterized procedure. Non-parameterized procedure. And the second one is parameterized procedure. What is non-parameterized procedure? What is parameterized procedure? Let's see that. So procedure itself is contain the set of statements that is used to perform certain operations, right? It will not return the value to the calling environment. Okay, so there is something wrong there. So basically, so let's see the non-parameterized first. So non-parameterized procedure is, in this approach, procedure does not require any input value to perform operation. That means, in order to insert my record, is this sub-program, is this procedure expecting anything from outside? Is it expecting anything in order to insert an account? If it is not expecting anything from outside, then it is called non-parameterized procedure. In this approach, procedure does not require any input value to perform the operation. That means there is the procedure or this particular part of program does not expect any value to come from outside in order to perform the business logic. So syntax is access modifier, void, and then we will mention the procedure name or method name. And then we'll have a open and close bracket. Then within the curly braces, we will write the business logic. This is what is the syntax for non-parameterized procedure. For non-parameterized procedure, in this approach, procedure does not require any input. So basically, in order to execute this logic, we do not need any input value from anybody. We can simply implement this logic. Example, access modifier, public. I'm using the access modifier here, public, and so here public class name. This is while creating the class. within the class, I'm implementing my non-parameterized procedure. So when I'm implementing the non-parameterized procedure, here access modifier is, I'm using the public, and we have a void, and then procedure name is insert account. Insert account is the method name or the procedure name. And within this procedure method, we are writing the certain business logic. Like this, you can implement multiple procedures within the class. So public void update accounts. So this is another procedure or another method. Like this, we can implement multiple methods or multiple non-parameterized procedures. Any questions on this non-parameterized procedure? Okay. Now, once I have implemented this non-parameterized procedure, now I'm writing here insert account. Now, what I'm doing here, what is the class? What is the class?
Account helper.
Account helper.
Account helper.
Class is a account helper, but here this is just a blueprint. It's just a blueprint. I'm not doing anything here. Though I am writing here insert account, but this will not execute. Somebody has to invoke it. Somebody has to invoke this class, right? Somebody has to invoke this class. Now, for example, invoke in a sense, for this class, I have to create an object so that the memory gets created. Right now, we just implemented a blueprint. The class has been implemented with certain statements. It's certain statements, the class has been implemented by using the non-parameterized procedure. But somebody has to invoke this class. So in order to invoke this class, I need to create an object for this class. I need to create an object for this class. Now let's see how to invoke it. So for invoking the non-parameterized procedure, the syntax is we need to use the object name dot procedure name. So that means I need to first create the object. So here my class name is accounts helper. I'm giving an object to it. So this is my object name. So this is my object name. I'm creating an object for class. Now, once the object is created, by using the object name dot, I can call that particular procedure name. Now, this is how we are going to invoke the non-parameterized procedure. We are going to invoke the non-parameterized procedure. Now, let's see the use case. So write an Apex program to insert a lead record inside the object. I need to insert the lead record right inside the object. Now, I'm not going to use a developer console in order to implement that logic, the use case. In order to implement this use case, whatever we have seen, I need to insert the lead record inside the object. This time, what I'll do is I'm going to create a new Apex class. So I'm creating a new Apex class. So the logic which we are going to implement is we are going to implement related to the leads. So I'll take leads helper. Okay, my class name is leads helper. This is my class name. So whenever the class name is created, the good developer or a proper way to add here is you need to add the comments @ description. Who is the author, because who is implementing this, and then if anybody is calling, then we have to mention that created date,
last modified date.
last modified date. Description, creating a new lead. Now author, let's say Salesforce. You in real time, you have to mention your name. Created date, you need to mention today's date 15-03-2023. Okay, so this is my class. Inside this class, I need to create a sub program. Now for sub program, there are two types, which is a procedure and functions. Now I'm going with the procedures. So in procedures, again, it is divided into two types, non-parameterized procedure, parameterized procedure. Now we are going to implement the non-parameterized procedure. So for that, access modifier, I'm taking public, and then we have to just use the void as it is a hard-coded value, that is a void. You cannot use any other for the non-parameterized. So it has to be void. So whenever we say void, that means it does not return any value. Whenever we say void, it does not return any value. So at the end of the method, you cannot return any value. Now let's give the procedure name or a method name, create new lead record. Always give the procedure name, method name or class name, which is a meaningful. You cannot give the here class name as an example 1, right? Or example 2, you cannot give in the real time. It has to be some meaningful. It has to be some meaningful. And above method or above procedure also, you need to define these two. You need to define these two. Because this is for non-parameterized. So there is a no return value, there is no input parameter. So only two comments will be having for the non-parameterized. Now, within this, what I'll do is I'm going to create a lead. So lead LD equal to new lead. Now, we already have these values. So what I'll do is I'll take those values. I have lead ID, lead first name, lead company. So I'll take that. In this case, lead first name, let's say test, lead last name, say lead record. And email ID. And then industry, finance, and in LD equal to company. Okay, if you want, you can add more values like a lead source. Let's say, for example, lead source. Lead sources, we have a multiple option like a web, phone, or email. Web, phone, and email. Now, so this is just I'm assigning the value. Now what I'll do, I'll insert the lead within this. Insert lead. Why it is showing me the error? Okay, lead LD equal to new lead, lead first name equal to test, lead last name equal to lead record. Yes, so it's gone. Now I'm inserting the lead, and just for what I'll do is that's it. We are inserting the lead. Like this, you can implement multiple procedures, right? So you can implement multiple methods. You can write multiple methods here. So for right now, I'm just creating the one method. Now our class creation is done. I have done with creating the class. Now I need to invoke this class. I need to invoke this class. So that means I need to create an object for this class. In order to create an object for this class, what we have to do, we have to two steps here. Once the class is done with implementing, in case if you wanted to test it, right? So two steps. One is creating the object for a class, object of the class. And step two, you need to invoke the method. No, two steps. Now, first creating an object, you need to specify the class name. Let's give some name to some object name here. New class name. And then open, close. Now my object creation is done. Now what I'll do is I'll directly call my procedure name. What is my procedure name? This is my procedure name. That means I'm invoking the procedure. I am invoking the procedure. Now, if I execute it, okay, if I execute it, what will happen? It will insert the record. It will insert the record. So right now this record is not there. So if I see here, let me give something different name. Let's say March. Okay, so let's save this. So this lead is not there in the system. Now what I'm doing, I'm invoking the method by creating the object of the class, right? So as soon as I invoke it, the record gets created. Now I'll create this, I'll execute this. If I execute it, see the ID has been created. The ID has been created, right? So now I can see that leads. Right, so this is created. This is created with the different details. And what we have done, we have just created, we have implemented a class using the non-parameterized, by using the non-parameterized. So that means I have implemented a class. My class name is lead helper. So my class name is lead helper. Inside this lead helper, I created a procedure or a method. I created a procedure or a method. This procedure name is create new lead record. This is my procedure name. Inside this procedure name, I have created an object for the lead. So lead LD equal to new lead. And then we have assigned the value. Finally, I have inserted the LD. Now this is my blueprint. The class has been implemented. Now somebody has to come and hit this class. Somebody has to come and hit this class. So in order to hit that class, that means in order to invoke the class. So what I have done is from the anonymous window, I have created the object for the class. So lead helper, LD helper, and then equal to new lead helper. I have created the object here. Once the object is created, I'm invoking the method or a procedure. Lead record. Lead record. This is on anonymous window. This is on anonymous window, right? Right now, we are just going with the Apex class. So this is from the anonymous window, we are doing it. Similarly, if you are calling it somewhere, you need to create a first object and then you need to insert it. Right? So any questions on this non-parameterized? Similarly, if you want to create a 50 contacts, so right now I have created a lead record. Okay, I have created a lead record. Now, if I wanted to create contact, so what I'll do, I'll copy this, I'll create another procedure. Right, this procedure is create new contact records. New contact records. When I'm creating the new contact records, we have, right. So this is the inserting. Now what we need to insert 50 records, right? So for that, I'm using the iterative integration, integer counter equal to 1, counter less than or equal to 50 records, we have to insert counter plus plus. So within this, what I can do is I can do this, Control A, Shift Tab, okay. But inserting in the iterative is not the right. So what I'll do is, okay, account ID is not there. So let me comment out this. Now list of contact con list. I'm creating an object for the contact list, new list of contact. Now I created the list object. And what I'm doing is I'm adding everybody into this collection, list collection. Add con. And finally, what I'll do is I'll check whether my after for loop, if not contact list dot empty, rather than checking an empty, better check the size. That means at least you need to have a one record. If it is a size is greater than 0, what I want, I just wanted to insert the contact list. Perfect. Now I wanted to insert the contact list. So whatever we were doing in the anonymous window, same code I'm writing here. I'm not writing any new code here. Same code I'm writing, the one which we were writing it in the anonymous window. Right now I'm implementing using the Apex class. Right now I'm implementing the Apex class. Now, in case if I wanted to invoke this method, right? So I have already object created here. LD helper dot, I have to call that particular procedure or particular method. Now, if I try to execute the second one, it will create a 50 contact records. It will create a 50 insert DML status, number of DML status is 1 and rows 50 are inserted. So it created the rows 50. If I go to the contact, I can view that additional 50 records are created. Right, so these are the records which is created. Now that's a use case. And static method can be invoked by using this. Okay. Now, what I am doing here in the developer console is debug. First, I'm initializing the object, then I'm invoking the procedure. Now, let's say that I don't want to do in the 2 steps. I don't want to do it in the 2 steps. That means instead of doing into the 2 steps, I just wanted to combine these together and implement a separate. Combine those two and implement it. So that means combine step 1 and step 2. If you wanted to combine that, okay, you do not want separately do this. In that case, what you have to do is you have to use here the keyword called static. You have to use the keyword called static. Public static void. Public static void. You have to use the keyword called public static void. So if you use the public static void, so what will happen, instead of doing into the 2 steps, you can use the directly class name here, class name dot, I can call the create contact records. I can call create contact records. And what I'll do, I'll simply execute this record. I simply execute this record, right? Instead of doing it the object and again, after creating the object, again calling this. I don't want to do these 2 steps. I wanted to combine the step 1 and step 2. So in that case, you can directly use your class name. In order to use your procedure name, the first thing is that you need to use the static keyword here. If you use the static keyword and if you try to execute that, then the records will be, then the execution will happen, and you can see that I did not save it. Okay. So execution happens and 50 records it is inserted. Another 50 records it is inserted. Right? In case if you do not have a static, what will happen? I don't have a static. What will happen? Now let me show you that. I'm directly using the class name dot create new lead record. Create new lead record does not have a static, and I'm trying to execute the last one, highlighted one. What it says that non-static method cannot be referenced from the static, right? This is a non-static. Whatever you have written here, this is a non-static. And if you are trying to execute this logic, this line of code where you are directly using the object dot procedure name or a method name, this is a static line of code, right? So when you are writing this static line, you need to use a keyword called static here. So public static void, if you use that, you can combine the 2 steps and you can run the class name dot method name. Instead of defining the object, you can directly use that. So static methods can be invoked by using the class name dot method name.
Ma'am, like for example, if we don't initialize the object for that particular class, like how system will get understand like this object is for that class only?
We are giving the class, right?
Yes.
No, here I'm using the class here. You're asking this line?
No, yes, ma'am. Like before you are using, I mean, before you are implementing that object, right? With that class. So like without help of initializing, like how system will get to know that this object leads helper will be for that class only?
This is not the object, this is a class. I'm directly giving the class name here.
Okay, okay, class name, okay.
This is
So
a class name.
An object for the class, okay.
And this is a method name.
Okay.
For the static, we have to directly use the class name dot method name. Any other questions before I move on? Okay, homework, write an Apex program. So this time you have to implement a Apex program. We are not going, from this onwards, we are not going to write any logic in the anonymous window. Everything we will be writing in the Apex class. So whatever this homework is there, you need to implement a Apex class and you need to implement a method. So write an Apex program to insert the position record inside the object using the procedure. What are the non-parameterized procedure is there? By using that non-parameterized procedure, you need to implement. Create an Apex program to insert 100 case records inside the object by using the non-parameterized procedure. Create an Apex program to insert hiring manager record and related position. You need to create a hiring manager as well as the position record, and then you need to link that position record to the hiring manager. So this is, you need to do it in the non-parameterized procedure. That means within the Apex class. So you need to create a first hiring manager inside the procedure, inside the method, and then you need to create a position record, and this position record has to be linked, that means associate with the hiring manager. And the next one is parameterized procedure. Parameterized procedure is just opposite to the non-parameterized procedure. That means non-parameterized procedure is, it will take the input values during the runtime. So non-parameterized is not expecting any value from outside, right? Here, if you look at this one, there is no value here. So non-parameterized, not expecting any value from the outside. Whereas parameterized procedure is expecting a value here. There should be a input values are needed. In order to execute this business logic during the runtime, that means while executing this method, while executing this procedure method, parameterized procedures always expect some input value before executing the certain logic or certain business logic that is written here, that is written there. So take the input values at runtime and will perform the operation on the input values and will print the result. Now, let's see that we can supply one or more input values to the procedure at runtime. So syntax is access modifier, void, procedure name, and the method names. Inside this bracket, we will be providing the data type. The format will be the data type and your parameter name. What should be the parameter? Like this, you can implement multiple data type parameters with the comma separated. Only the difference between the non-parameterized, parameterized is expecting the input values during the runtime or while performing the operation. So how can we pass it? We need to use the data type here and we need to give a parameter name. So example, this is the class. Assume that I am writing a math operation helper. So in this class, I am implementing a method, public static void addition. Public static void addition. Inside the addition, right? Inside the addition here, we are expecting the data type, comma parameter name. So here data type is integer X, and I can have a multiple parameters. Here another data type and parameter name integer Y. Like this, I can implement like a public static void check equals. I'm doing some logic which is equals to. So for the equals to, I need a input value of the string S1 and another input value is string S2. And assume that I'm writing another method class delete accounts. Okay, so if you are writing the delete accounts, then for the delete accounts, I need a list of IDs which I wanted to delete. I need a list of IDs which I wanted to delete. Get related cases per account. So for this get related cases per account, I need an input value which is data type is S object here, account ACC. So like this, we can implement the parameterized procedure where it says public static void addition, what are the procedure method name is there. And inside this the data type. So data type and the parameter. You can pass n number of parameters to the method. You can pass n parameter methods to that. Now, once it is implemented, the parameterized procedure, how can we invoke? So we can invoke it object name dot whatever the procedure name is there and this value. Either you need to initialize the object name here and then call the object name dot procedure name, or else if you are not initializing the object, this has to be class name. This has to be class name. Class name dot, you can give whatever the procedure name is there. So the procedure name is class name dot, for example, procedure name is addition, right? I have to pass the two values. So 12 comma 34, two integer values, right? Like this, you have to pass class name dot addition. If you have a static void, if you do not have a static, then you have to declare an object here for the class, then use the object name dot procedure name, and within this value 1, value 2. So example, math operation helper dot addition, right? I'm passing the two values here. Math operation helper dot check equals to, it is expecting the string value. I need to pass a string value. Now let me take the use case. Create an Apex class to perform all the mathematical and string operation on the input value. That means create a Apex program to perform all mathematical. That means I need to some addition or a multiplication, or based on the what are the values that we are passing it. Based on that, I need to do some logic there. So this is the use case. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and create a class. File, new Apex class. Let's say we are implementing some mathematical operation, right? So math helper, I'm taking the math helper. So this is my class name. Inside this, now I have to declare the description. So let's say that this is a generic or common class for mathematical operation. Now this is my class. Inside this class, what I'll do is I'll create a public static void, and I'll give the procedure name or the method name addition. Now for this method, I'm going to expect two input values. Input integer x and integer y. I'm expecting the two parameters. So let me print something here, system.debug. Sum of values. So plus, I'm just using the x plus y. That's it. Now I can implement another one. Let me add the comments. This is addition method. Okay, so let's create this. I'm adding another method here. So let's say that this is multiplication. So integer x comma integer y comma integer a. So what I'll do is, this is a multiplication. Result. So I'll do X star, Y star, A. Now this is multiplication method. Perfect. So this is my class. I have created a math helper. Inside that I have a method, which is a procedure, is a addition, and another method is multiplication. So I have two methods which are implemented. If you want, you can write many. Like if you wanted to concatenate two values, like for example, do I need to give only integer value? Can I give string value? You can give a string value also. So let's say that this is a concatenation. So concatenate. So here for the concatenate, I'm going to expect the string S1 comma string S2. Right. So the concatenation will be S1 plus S2. Right. So if you want to check this, like a equals to, right? So this is a concatenation. Let's check the equal, check equal. So like this, you can write multiple values, like inside multiple methods. Like inside this, you need to check if S1 equal to S2, right? Then print that, then print both the values, both the string values are same. If it is not same, then else condition. Then else condition, then printed system.debug. Both the string values are not same. That's it. Now my class has been implemented with the one. This is the one, and we have another one, multiplication, and another one, concatenate, check equals. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 methods which we have implemented. 4 methods which we have implemented. So let's open now. Now I'll take the class name math helper dot addition. I'm going to pass some value here, 200 comma 4500. Now let me execute it. What it is going to print? It is going to print me the system.debug. So it is giving the sum of values. Like this, you can invoke any of this: multiplication, concatenate, check equals. Let's suppose for check equals, right? So debug. Now let me give here check equals math helper dot check equals. I'll say that both the values are hello. Now let me execute this. Both the string values are same. Both the string values are same. Right? So this is one example. Like, okay, this is understood, but how can I use it for the object? For example, we are creating a new record for the hiring manager. Let's say that hiring manager helper. When we say hiring manager helper, that is my class name. Now for hiring manager, let's add the description. Hiring manager helper class. Okay. Inside this, I'm creating the method public static void create HR record. Let's create a new record. Now, so far what we have done is, we have given a values here, right? We have given a values like hiring manager, HR name equal to this email address, location name, HR contact number. I'm hard coding everything here. But instead of this, here, what are the new HR is there? So basically, I wanted to get the input from the outside. So you give me the HR name. So that HR name, I'll put it into I'll assign that name to the name. Now email, I don't want to hard code here. I don't want to hard code the name here. So basically, I want pass me the email. What are the email that you are looking for it? So pass the input. So HR email. So whatever I'm getting the HR email, I'll place it here. Similarly, the location. So pass me the location. So string HR location. So whatever the HR location is there, I'll take that location and I'll assign it to the hiring manager location. Contact number. So pass me the contact number. So string HR phone. Whatever you are passing it, we can assign that value to here. So what I'm doing here, I'm implementing dynamic. That means during the runtime, I'm getting the values from either user interface or a Visualforce or a Lightning Aura or LWC. From the UI, they are passing the information. They are passing the details. So I'm just taking those values here from the parameter. So we have from the parameter, I'm taking the value and I'm assigning it here. And I'm assigning the value here. So let me add. So this is creating the hiring manager record. Perfect. Now, what I need to invoke this. I need to invoke this method. So what I'll do is debug class name dot whatever my method name is there. In this method, if I try to execute like this, it will say that method does not exist. Because this method with the no parameters, method is not there. This method is there with the parameter. So if you are doing it without parameter, it says that method does not exist. So now in this case, I'll pass new HR. So that is a string and I'll pass the email. Now the sequence has to be same, whatever the sequence is there. So first it is expecting the HR name. Okay, I have passed the HR name. Next one, it is expecting the HR email. So I need to pass the HR email. nhr@gmail.com. And what is the next one which I have? Location. So I need to pass the location, Hyderabad. And next one, I need to pass the phone number. So some phone number I need to pass. Okay, this is all the details. So the sequence, whatever the values that you are passing in the parameter, the sequence has to be matched here. Because in this case, everything is a string. But in some cases, it is an integer, string, integer, or a different parameters like a string account. Instead of here string, it will say that account. Okay, you are expecting the account record. Account. So the string name is ACC. So the string name is ACC. So here it is a string. Here you need to pass the account record, and here string, here string. So it has to be matching with the same one. It has to be matched with the same one. So right now I have a HR email, Hyderabad, location, and then phone number. Now let me execute this. Now the record gets created, right? So one DML is created, one row is created. That's all about the parameterized. So only the difference between the non-parameterized and parameterized is in the parameterized procedure, you are passing the parameter. On non-parameterized, you are not passing any parameters. It does not expect any value from the outside. Now homework, create a Apex class to insert new hiring manager record inside the object based on the detailed specified at the runtime. That means this is parameterized procedure. So you decided during the runtime what is the value that needs to be stored in assigned to the record. So parameterized procedure. Create an Apex class to insert a new position record inside the object based on the details specified at the runtime. So you are passing the record values like a position name and position location, right? Everything you are passing it from the parameter. So you pass everything from the parameter during the runtime, it will take and it will be created based on the input value. Create an Apex class to insert a new student record. So yesterday I gave an assignment to create a student object. Yesterday or day before yesterday. Whoever is attending for the admin classes, I gave a assignment to create a student object. Whoever is not into the admin classes, please create a student object and create some fields for this student record and then implement a Apex class to insert a new student record inside the object based on the detailed specified at the runtime. Details specified at the runtime. Any questions on the homework? Okay, so today's homework, I am expecting the output from everybody. Okay, today so many homeworks I have given, which is very important. Send me the email once you are done with all the homeworks, whatever today we have discussed, all the homeworks I am expecting from everybody, because this is a basic Apex class, whether you are able to write it or not. Okay.
Yeah.
So questions, how to invoke the static method?
Class name dot method name.
By using class name.
Dot method name.
Right. What are different type of subprograms?
Parameterized and non-parameterized.
Parameterized,
Static and
non-parameterized.
What are the
Procedure
subprogram different types?
and functions.
Functions and procedure.
Procedures and functions.
Function.
What are different type of procedures?
Parameterized and
Parameterized.
non-parameterized.
Non-parameterized.
Yeah. So conclusion, what did we learn today?
Limitations in look of fields, create related
Limitations. DML limitations.
Unrelated object creation.
Okay. And what else we have learned?
look up field
Lookup
related
account to
records.
opportunity.
operations provided by Salesforce on account and child objects.
Right.
Creating bulk record.
Creating bulk records, Apex class,
Subprogram.
Apex class functions and procedures,
Mhm.
parameterized procedure, non-parameterized procedure.
Right.
And difference between static and non-static.
Static method, invoking the static methods.
Right. So that's all for today's session.